honored if you would join us.
This is where the fun begins.
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
Risa back. Okay, let's go.
No, Misa back. You've been here. I'm back.
Yeah. Well, we're all back again for another episode of the Sithcast podcast, a Star Wars podcast where we pretty much talk anything and everything Star Wars. I'm one of your hosts, PJ the Paradox Nerd, alongside my co-host Sean Solo. He's back with a vengeance. And we got a really, really special guest tonight. And you guys all know her from Rogue One 6 and also from other YouTube streams she's been on. She is a positive force in the community. Can I tell you that? Like, ever since I've seen her in Rogue One, that was in Rogue One 6, like, you know, doing those streams, I would see her on the chats and just being so lively. So we have CC, aka CC3PO. CC, welcome.
I was going to say, you said like on this positive force or whatever, and I'm like, I roll with the dark side. I don't know where you got any of that.
Well, yes. In terms of Star Wars, yes, you're dark side, yes, which I love, right? You're mostly dark side user, right?
Yeah. It's funny, like the only like quote unquote good guys that I have like collectible things for is Mando. I consider like a gray area. I have the Enfys Nest statue, and I'm getting the RS Bausch helmet. So those are the only things that I've like broken that rule and gotten like good guy stuff.
Yeah, if you don't like the Bausch helmet, just let me know. We'll take that off your hands.
If it doesn't look good, I think I'm just gonna throw it in the bin or something. If they, I keep telling Rob that if it doesn't meet my standards, it's going straight in recycling.
It'll meet your standards, you know that.
Yes, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think it was Celebration. We were just talking about it. Like it was in Anaheim when they kind of revealed. Was it Anaheim when they kind of revealed that?
No, London.
London. It was. I knew it was just the London Celebration, right?
Yeah, because for Anaheim, Simon went, but no one else from RS did. Because I think Rob's kids were about to take his oldest was going to take like the A levels, like some kind of. I think it's like their version of the SAT almost. So he didn't be hanging out in America with like at a convention while his son was doing that. So it was at Celebration London that they brought the prototype, and it was like a Rogue One 6 hyperdrive RS meetup in a pub. So we're all like drinking, passing the helmet around. It was almost
that's dangerous.
Yes, it was almost like Excalibur, where like they're trying to put it on, and I think it was like me and another woman, and I think one guy were able to put it on because it's quite a small helmet. Carrier is quite small.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool that I was like able to put it on. No problem.
Like it's like Cinderella. Like this fits, the shoe fits. I'm taking this home with me. Thank you. Basically,
yeah. And the prototype looked gorgeous, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, isn't that shipping out this year or later this year?
Definitely this year. Like they aimed to get it out last year, but for the anniversary of Return of the Jedi. But I think it's a hell of a lot of work, and they just finished applying the leather and sewing that all up and stuff like that. I don't know where they are with like electronics, but I don't think they've given an estimate as to like when they're going to be finished. But when I saw them in November, like all of the helmets were assembled and painted. So I think the steps that they've completed since then was like the complete finish with the leather, painting of the leather, sewing of that, and then maybe next might be electronics. I don't know. I think they're trying not to give like concrete dates in case, God forbid, they have to like push it back or something like that. But they're certainly making a lot of progress over there.
Yeah, because unfortunately, I didn't get the Bausch, but I was lucky enough to get one of the AT-AT helmets, like on the first drop with the red stripe. So I got very lucky on that one. It's like I made myself get up at like 5 a.m. I'm up there going
5 in the morning.
computer.
Holy crap!
Yeah, because it dropped it.
Yeah.
Well, it was 6 o'clock, 6 in the morning our time, 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. their time, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and there it was like 50 people. I had to race to get it, and I couldn't believe I ended up getting one. I was like, holy crap!
And then it's like once you get it, you can relax the rest of the weekend.
Oh yeah,
it,
I was like, I go back to bed. I don't have to get up at 5 the next morning or 5:30.
right.
Yeah, it was nice.
Well, that's pretty awesome, CC. Well, while we're getting to know you, like, let's start off by asking, where can people find you in terms of YouTube, Instagram, all your social media platforms? Where can they, reach out to you or just say hi and things like that?
Yeah. So, as we mentioned before, like I'm on Rogue 16, but I kind of get around sometimes. I get invited. I've made friends with the hobby, so they'll invite me on their stuff. But Rogue 16, like I'm almost on every show. And if I'm not, my mom like practically calls in a welfare check because she watches. So she's like, why weren't you on the last one? And then occasionally I saw John in the chat. I work a lot of Sundays, but when I'm not working, I tend to try to go on Collectors Enabled with their Power Hour. So with John and Mike. And then for social media, like my biggest platform is going to be Facebook, as far as like the Rogue 16 Facebook group and the Collectors Enabled Facebook group. I have an Instagram. I don't post to it very often, but it's going to be very similar to CC3PO. It's just my name like spelled out, CC with like 4 E's total. 3PO. So I tend to post like some collection photos there. But I think you guys know, like I know Sean just did his collection tour. It's almost like you're always waiting for that one thing to come in.
Yeah.
And then you do it. That's been for a very long time. So it's on the
horizon. Never good enough though. It's never good enough. Even after you film it, you're like, I should have waited, or it's just not right.
My thing is, like, I've told people, if I could just make sure, like, you can finish the gallery walls that I want to, as far as, like, art prints and art, then I don't mind taking, like, a collection tour and just, like, having some empty shelves and being like, okay, the Wampa's going to go here, the AT-AT's going to go here, and just, like, explaining to people what's missing. But I think it's pretty egregious for me, of all people, to do a collection tour and have, like, wall space showing. Because everyone knows that my art prints are my thing, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to take the credit. Every time CC posts in like another Facebook group, which CC, please, post in ours too. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's dropping, and then like I put it in our group. I'm like, guys, I'm going to, there's this new prints that's coming out on Tuesday from Bottleneck Gallery. And you are my go-to in terms of like prints, in terms of like what's coming out, what's dropping, when can I get, like, if I missed out, where can I get like the AP prints and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you, seriously, like it's helped me a lot. The only problem is that like I don't set my alarm.
Yeah,
I'm always at work, and like I'm always in a meeting or something, and then I'm like, once the meeting's done, I'm like, oh crap, I missed it, didn't I?
Yeah, it's they go really fast. Like that's kind of the nature of the art print game. Like there's other companies that they don't sell out as quickly, like Acme Archives, like some smaller galleries. They're not like, but like Mondo and Bottleneck are the ones that everyone pays the most attention to. They kind of have like their own following. So I always tell people, like, if you want it, be ready when it's available. Because that, honestly, my whole life, I felt like I'd prepared for that AT-AT helmet drop because I collect art prints. It's like, add to cart.
You're like,
all the training paid off. It's
yes, exactly. And I forget which, I have a few like art print friends who we talk back and forth, and a few of them were like, oh, if it weren't for the art prints, man, I think I would have missed out on that AT-AT helmet. But it's like it prepared us. It was like boot camp.
What was bad, the night before I did a dry run, I was like, all right, add to cart. Like, so I threw like a stormtrooper helmet in there just to make sure everything was working right. Because I mean, like you said, so it's like split seconds, because there's a lot of people that had it in their cart, and as they're checking out, it says it's already sold out.
Yeah.
So I did a dry run the night before just to make sure it worked.
Well,
and at least
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say real quick. That's the secret, though, and I'm glad that
Yeah,
you
just
know
be prepared.
just just get things ready, like maybe even like 10, 15 minutes before. Do a dry run, and then just make sure your payment option is ready. Your credit card's ready, your PayPal's ready, and just you know, um, just add the cart. So sorry, easy.
That's my biggest advice with like the bottleneck and Mondo stuff. I'll mention Mondo even though there's a lot of issues with not like they're not a reputable company. It's just I don't know if they're gonna put out anything I want anymore. Considering they got bought out by Funko last year and it's kind of been out downhill since then. But that was always the formula. Like, okay, sign into the website, sign into the rewards program, like get your PayPal signed in. I think I've heard Apple Pay sometimes is easier than PayPal, but I'm a PayPal girly. I always use it.
Mhm.
And then worst case scenario, like I do think that it's important to tell people with the art print stuff because they almost feel Matt's always like, you're ridiculous. Stop, cut it out. Like, but I do feel guilty when I talk about the art prints and I get people like super excited about them and then they sell out so fast. It's like a bloodbath.
Yeah.
So I do try to be mindful and like tell people like, hey, there's other options before you resort to eBay. But it's the nature of art prints that like as soon as they sell out, when you are going to get a chance to buy one on the secondary market, it's typically twice, if not 3 times, like the retail price.
Yeah. I was curious though, because you collect so many art prints. Has it slowed down for you buying any of them, or has it gotten worse?
Well, believe it or not, like you're not going to believe this. I like to think I'm picky. That sounds stupid, but
No,
like
no, you could be
there's
picky.
I think I get a lot of people too because I'll post art prints and then inevitably once they sell out, someone's like, "Well, which one did you get?" And I'm like, "I don't get every single art print I talk about or every single
Right.
art print I post. I just do it because like this might not be my cup of tea, but it could be someone else's."
Right.
So I think I mean I had a pretty gnarly year. I think it was 2020. My record was like I think I bought 15 art prints in a week.
Dang.
And it was
Wow.
during
Oh
like
wow.
it was like Bottleneck's virtual con for like New York City Comic Con.
Mhm.
And like Matt Ferguson came out with his Rogue One. I think there's a few Batman prints that came out in the same week. So that was pretty I think 10 were like new prints and 5 were like aftermarket ones.
Right.
So that was pretty hardcore, but it tends to be also I think when I try to give people as much notice as possible so they can plan accordingly. Like
Mhm.
with the Matt Ferguson Phantom Menace poster that everyone and their mother is seeing, like we have like a few weeks before it drops, but I always tell people like, hey, May the 4th, it's coming May the 4th, like be ready. Because
Yeah.
when people miss it, I tend to get the messages of like, oh no, I didn't know what day it was releasing. And I'm just like, you can
Yeah,
only
that's your
post
fault.
so much. Yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah,
I
it can
try.
only help so much, right? Like you post like almost like every other group, like at least like with the collectors enabled and things like that. But I think you got to just set your alarm and make sure that it's set for that date and time, so you don't miss
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
if you want something really, really bad, like you do go the extra mile to make sure. Like I said, I woke up at 5:30 in the morning. I went the extra mile of like making sure. So if you want it bad, you got to just prepare for it.
Or like you could be lucky enough, I think, because it's a big community, right? Like I've had instances where either I've reminded friends like, hey, 5-minute rule, 5-minute rule, especially Dr. Mike Costa is always performing some emergency surgery when these
Yeah.
prints drop. So I practically know his shipping address by heart because I've helped him with prints. But I remember when we did the Rogue One 6 like hyperdrive RS meetup in London. I was in the pub and it was late. I was because the time zone difference and everything, like I was talking to friends in the United States in like, the wee hours of like 1 to 4 a.m. And an artist I'm big fans of, John mentioned him a second ago, Chris Valentine, he direct messaged me and was like, hey, my new poster's up. And had he not done that, I would have missed out on the Phantom Menace poster.
Wow.
And so at least like, how cool is that, right? That like
Yeah.
he was the one to remind me, and I'm just like, thank God you did, because I'm
Yeah,
just like,
you're like you're
like,
the
I'm
artist and you just hit me up. That's awesome.
yeah, I'm like on shared Wi-Fi, like just hitting like add to cart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
it's a fun time.
now I'm curious. So you buy so many art prints. Are all of them displayed, or do you keep some of them in a portfolio and then do you swap them out now and then?
I haven't swapped them out yet, but I will say I was so like diligent and picky for the longest time about like I used to have a rule that if I didn't have the space for it, I didn't buy it. Like
Right.
Oh, really?
I didn't want to own a portfolio because I wanted the portfolio to be a backup plan when I finally ran out of wall space.
Mm.
So there have been times where I've gotten prints. Like I got one of Chris Valentine's. He did a private commission Black Hawk Down that I thought was beautiful. And obviously I love his work. So I was like, I don't know where the heck it would go now, but that'll be one for the portfolio. I am looking into different display options so I can switch out a few of the prints because inevitably you're going to run out of space, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
And then I'm also afraid, it hasn't happened yet, but because I get kind of like not emotionally attached, but I don't fall out of love with stuff easily. I don't sell things very often, like for that reason. But I haven't had occasion to want to switch something out. I've had situations where I've bought an art print and been like, okay, that's going to go here. That's going to go perfect. And then something comes out that I love even more.
Mm.
And then, okay, first one, that one's going to be portfolioed. This one is going to make the walls. And
Right.
so I've had that happen, but knock on wood, like the room I'm in now, this wall next to me is 28 feet long, and I've got 11-foot tall ceilings, and it's covered.
Oh, wow.
I've got like
Just
10 inches
wallpapered with
back
it.
here, and
Yeah.
like 5 inches towards the front, but other than that, it's wall to wall art prints.
Wow.
So
Well, I was
I've
going to
got-
say, oh,
space.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, well, I was going to say, first of all, I'm sorry. Like, I think I haven't paid the bill or something because my Wi-Fi is
Yeah,
like lag.
yeah, it's been a little shoddy today. In and
Yeah.
out.
Well,
Yeah.
it's my damn kids on those damn iPads. But anyway, like I just love how you're so organized with, okay, this is going to go here, and I think I'm going to put this up in my wall. For me, if it looks good, I'm buying it. And here's the thing: is that when I get it, I'm like, son of a gun! I didn't realize how big it is. I forgot who made that print, but it was like it had like it was a set of 3. And it was all like different, like Star Wars creatures. There was a Rancor, there was a Tauntaun. I forgot.
Oh,
who
I have
made
that set. Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. So I'm like, why did I buy this? I don't know where I'm gonna put it, but all right, portfolio.
Well, at least I will say, like, as much as I hate it, and there's a few artists I've talked to where I'm like, could you please do anything other than the 24 by 36 is standard for a lot of these like art prints, like the big like movie posters, like
Mhm.
the Phantom Menace. They're not going to release that in anything smaller than a 24 by 36, 2 feet by 3 feet. And it makes sense. It's got a lot of detail. It's a proper movie poster. But I do feel like they have to consider space. Not everyone can display stuff like that. But what I do like about that size is because it is so freaking popular, it means that if you did want to get a frame where it's easy to switch the art in and out, you can. Like you could easily swap it. It's not like you're going from like a 24 by 36 and then you find an 18 by 24 and you're like, oh, it's not going to fit in the same spot. It's not going to fit in the same frame. So I have done that where I've gotten some where it's like, okay, it's going to get relegated to a portfolio until I have space for it. Or I put it in the rotation of things that I'm going to switch out. And there's some, like, I don't own them yet, but I do plan on getting at least like 2 or 3 of these displays. They're called spotlight displays. The company also makes light boxes, but they're kind of like metal brackets where they screw in the wall in 4 corners and you flip them up. And that like is what holds acrylic sheets of plastic that hold your art print. So you can flip them back up. And a lot of people use them for storage even. Like they could put like 4 or 5 different posters in that sleeve and then just pop it out, take one out, and then have it in there. So
Nice.
I plan on doing a few of those for the ones like I tell Chris Valentine, I'm like, what first you made me get a Phantom Menace poster, which I never thought I'd own.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
now
right.
I've got two that are like some of my favorite movie posters of all time, and they're Phantom Menace of all things. And then he did the Attack of the Clones, and I was like, dude, you're killing me. Like, now I gotta buy this because like on this episode of movie posters that are better than the movie, like I've told him like those are his set of three. Like obviously he did the prequels. These are probably going to end up being the first ones I put in that kind of display system where I could switch it out. Selfishly, I'm a fan of Menace was better in my living room, but I'm also a huge fan of Revenge of the Sith. I don't know who isn't.
I know.
And I just, like I think he nailed that one.
Yeah, that one is beautiful.
Yeah.
I think I have it.
And
I think I do.
And actually, you might have just gotten it because I think they've all shipped so far. But even that painting's 2 feet long, 2 feet wide by 3 feet long. He just nailed it. And I don't know if this might be the Instagram post where he mentioned Be My Name and thanked me, which I thought was bonkers. Because he's such a, like, we mainly talk Star Wars. He's a nerd just like us. He collects Hot Toys.
Oh wow!
Would love to have more. But yeah, I think he did an excellent job, and it was really cool to see like what was probably a really big childhood dream of his come to fruition with this whole set.
He's so talented.
Yeah, that looks so good.
I love these posters. Like, and I think he does an amazing job of like putting all these different characters in like one huge poster. Right. All these iconic scenes, you got Padme, you got Grievous, Anakin when he turned to the dark side, Palps. Yeah, he's super talented.
He really enjoyed those clones. I think they're the incinerator clones, like the one with the red.
Yeah.
But I love Grievous.
Yeah.
As soon as he was done painting Grievous, he sent me a picture and I was like, amazing, awesome, brilliant. Like, and I think too that we talk about a lot of artists and a lot of art prints. And I will say, like, I talk a lot about Matt Ferguson. His work's amazing. I think he's a genius.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
But what I do like about Chris's is his are always going to look different because he works in oil paint. Like, everything he does actually exists in real life. Like, those are all oil paintings that get scanned. And Matt Ferguson, like, his work is mainly digital. So I think that's also kind of cool, is like you get the best of both worlds when it comes to like the different style of artists. I think I've got like a short list of maybe like 5 artists that in my opinion can do absolutely no wrong. Like literally I've told Chris Valentine that he could paint like a Dr. Pepper can and I'd be like, it's emotive, it's beautiful, it's tragic, but it's also like dramatic. Like he just can do no wrong. And like Matt Ferguson's the other one that I wouldn't have collected art prints if it wasn't for him.
I was gonna say is that anybody that could paint or even draw Jar Jar Binks is a hero in my opinion.
Come on, PJ.
Even if you just like scribble it, like like a stick figure of Jar Jar, like I would consider you as my hero. No, but you know what though?
Your stand on Jar Jar is what we need to know.
What's my stance on Jar Jar?
Yeah.
I mean, I think
you can be honest because I can't stand him.
We can. It's easy to laugh about him now, and it's funny because when I was in London, I was wearing a shirt that has like it's almost like a Japanese like wood block wave, but Jar Jar's face is in the middle with like his tongue sticking out. I just think it's hilarious. Like I said, now I think we could laugh about it and like make a parody. And I mean, I'm not like I don't have a visceral reaction to Jar Jar where I'm like, get that out of my face. Like, no, he's just
like some people.
It was like from Nacho Libre. Get that corn out of my face. You ever watch that?
Yeah.
Get that corn out of my face.
Offended by Jar Jar. I think now it's real easy to like laugh at him.
Yeah.
Like Matt, do I have it in front of me? Nope. But Matt Ferguson he does these little like headshot portraits, and he did one of Babu Frick. And I was like, I need Babu Frick. Like I just
Okay, thank you, Cece. Oh my god. I thought I was the only guy in this world, or only person in this world that hated but like was a Babu Freak. I was like, I saw that thing, and I'm like, get
Babu
this thing.
Freak. He's a freak.
He is a freak.
He's like Babu Freak.
Babu Freak.
Listen, when you have a movie like Rise of Skywalker, you try to look for the redeeming qualities, and I felt like Babu Frick was one of the few redeeming qualities. I thought it was like, like the what are the comedic effects of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I could laugh at Babu Frick. I could laugh at Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, porgs are the worst though.
I like my porgs. I do like porgs.
You do? Okay.
Well, I mean, again, like you look, Last Jedi is not my least favorite movie of all time, but something about the porgs I liked at the time when the movie came out. Of course, for the longest time, for years, I had a stuffed porg that was like stuck to the window of my car. like they were in the inside of the Millennium Falcon. Yeah, I could porgs.
Porgs on board.
I know.
Lothcats. My friend's getting a replica Lothcat made, and it looks
nice. Like, yeah,
those are.
Let
cool.
me tell you, if they ever make a life-size Jar Jar Binks stuffed animal, I'll be the first one.
Don't do it, PJ.
They did the Pepsi one. They did
if I could find one, I'll buy it for sure. I'll buy it. So just really quick, we'll address the chat, and I'm hoping my internet. I don't know. Is it still bad, guys? Man?
Yeah, it's going in and out. Yeah.
Okay.
I honestly thought it was me.
No, it's me. I don't know. It's
usually PJ's is pretty steady. Yeah.
I know. I don't know what's going on today.
Tell your kids to get up. Yeah, kick them off the Xbox.
I'm about to. Just really quick. But I'm okay right now, right?
I love Jeff is like, your cable company knows you're talking about Jar Jar.
No. If anything, that boosts my internet faster. Okay, so we got Jose in the house. Actually, you know what, Sean? Why don't you do this real quick, and I'm gonna just restart, and I'll be right back.
All right. Let's see who we got with us today. I gotta go back up. All right. We got Jose in the house. What's up, Jose? Thanks for joining. Pat's fan. What's up, man? How you doing? And we got a few more down. That's it. We only got 2 people tonight. We got my boy Scott from St. Pete down there. What's up, Scott?
I love how he's watching from the parking lot, and he probably has a better connection than PJ.
Oh, 100%. He does. That's too good. Zombie, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? And Joel Hazy, what's up, man? Hopefully we'll get you out to MegaCon next year again so we can hang. Did you get to see?
I forget where he lives.
Joel's up in like Seattle, Portland, like Oregon.
Oh, geez. Okay, that was a trek.
In Oregon. Yeah.
I met him at MegaCon, so I kind of assumed he was English.
Yeah. I was stoked that he made the trek because, like you said, that's a pretty long haul for him to go. OG fan, what's up, man? How you doing? We appreciate you guys hanging out on a Wednesday night with us. We know everyone's here for CC, so it's all good. It's all good.
I don't know if I was advertised at all, so I don't know if you could use that excuse.
No, we usually keep like other than like an actor, like that's the only time we really advertise the guests, and we just kind of like surprise everybody, just kind of mix it up. Santino, what's up, man? How you doing? Flex, what's up, Flex? We got to get you back on soon, man. John, what's up? Long time.
Yeah, he suffered for that ad as well.
I know that I'm just staring. That's the one regret from NYC that I'm just like, I can't believe I didn't buy that. Like it looks amazing.
Oh, this
see.
one.
Yeah. Is that NYC?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh. And then I've got what are the odds I have an Addit shirt on today? And I'm like, you've got the Addit in the background. I'm just,
Well, and you saw the teaser he posted today, right?
yeah. Is that the Addit driver?
Yeah.
Yeah. You
And
know what I'm waiting? I'm waiting
ahead,
for
I'm
the
sorry.
Falcon. I'm waiting for the Falcon.
Yeah.
I need a Falcon in the collection with Chewie because I'm probably going to move the Probot here, the probe droid, and I'm hoping that Falcon's going to fit on there. I'm going to find a spot for it. Like
I would worry about the weight. Like I don't even have an idea of what the weight will be, but I'll tell you, like this base for this AT-AT weighs like maybe twice as much as the AT-AT itself.
Really? Okay.
The base is super heavy. I was like puffing and puffing when I was putting this together, unfortunately on YouTube, which makes it even worse. Like there's witnesses. It's the bases are quite heavy. I almost wish they weren't as heavy as they are.
That the probe droid's pretty heavy too. I guess you have to have that stable base to just security to make sure that thing doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to reach out to Michael and just be like, hey, dude, can you give me the dimensions of this thing? Possible price.
Yeah.
And how long do I have to pay it off?
You look better. At least. You look 4K now.
Yeah.
Finally.
He ran around the house kicking all the kids off.
I threw him out the house. I was like, get out of here.
There's your boy, PJ.
Oh no! Wait, so were you able to address everyone or not? You're still doing that?
I'm still there. We started talking about because I keep staring at that stinking thing. Like I can't believe I didn't buy that.
Well, it's sitting there because it's so freaking heavy.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, man. It's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm so mad at it.
Hold on one second.
We got Robin. What's up, Robin?
Wait, well that was OBP. Son of a... Okay, let's go. Sorry.
Yeah, he's got his own video.
It's got what's the movie? Who else we got?
We're almost done. We got Jeff's. What's up, Jeff?
What's up, Jeff's?
I think that's about it. If I missed anybody, we'll hit you. Oh, we had Dewback. We saw Dewback was in here.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. You got Chisel. Jedi Chisel.
For Shizzle.
My nizzle.
Awesome.
That's like a ongoing thing here. You have to say my nizzle after Chisel. Like it's just, you have to.
I was trying to make like hashtag Team White Besta a thing because of Jeff in the chat. But
yeah.
He went with garage shelving.
Yeah, he switched it up.
Yeah. I'm Team Black Bestas. If anyone's keeping score.
Yeah, me too. Black.
Yeah, Black Bestas are.
Yeah, and then he goes to garage. We got Logan. What's up, man?
What's up, Logan?
Yeah, May the 4th. We're all gonna be ready.
I know. I'll be. But see, here's the thing, CC, with Matt Ferguson's art, like I feel like with his last one with Return of the Jedi, I felt like they kept on releasing a lot of it for people to have good, an opportunity to pick it up, right? Because didn't they make like a wide print one version? And there was like, there's different versions of it.
Yeah, it's not like they I don't want to trigger any Hot Toys people, but it's not like they reissue these. It's more like
it's okay. You can trigger them.
The popularity of these posters in particular. So with like the regular one, what they'll do is it's going to be a timed release, and I often forget that. So because it's a timed release, it means that like when Matt Ferguson gets artist proofs, like an allocation, it's sometimes in the hundreds. Like if they print like 2,000 of a poster, that means like the ones that he gets that he can sell on his website might be in the hundreds because it's a certain portion. You know what I mean? So I'm always so used to like Chris Valentine's, for example, like the Revenge of the Sith was 250. It was supposed to be 200. Last minute, they're like, will you let us do 250? Thank goodness, because it was still a bloodbath, right? Like it was just very popular. Yeah. And so for artist proofs, I expect like 50 tops in artist proofs.
Okay.
Like a small portion. So, but with that quad version, like the different ones, like typically what they've done is the regular one in color, and then what I call like the black and white with pops of color. And then both those options will have the Japanese font because they thought that looked cool and they're sticking with that, which I don't blame them. Those are the ones I get. And then the quad was something that for years, like he did the art for like Empire Strikes Back that way. But my understanding back in 2020 when that happened, Disney wasn't keen on doing the Empire Strikes Back in a quad version. It was something to do with the titles. Like either the way they want to do it didn't look good in Matt's opinion or something like that. So just it didn't get made until years like that one. The wider version of the Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, right there. Down to you. Right there.
Under
Right
there. So I don't remember exactly what the beef was with the title, but that's why that one hadn't gotten made until last year. And so they did this naturally, like they wanted to do the quad, which I appreciate because like the Empire Strikes Back, it doesn't, the only thing it really lends it to is you can really tell that it's the meditation chamber, which was not lost on me with the kind of like normal orientation of the regular print. But what I liked about the Return of the Jedi is you do get like Ewok Village, you do get more ATSTs, you do get more like scout troopers off to the side. And I'm that kind of dork, like quads are a thing because they're synonymous with British movie culture. So I did the few research I've done, like after World War II, they had a shortage on most things, including paper. So they said that 30 inches by 40 inches, which is what this was the largest size that they can do a movie poster in. So from then on out, like there's famous Indiana Jones quad posters. So that's what, oh God, AI. So that's why they did these quad. This is the one that I got and plan on displaying. I got the other ones as well, but as far as like the regular Return of the Jedi, I got this one as like a souvenir to always remember that I was there in London when they did it, and it's synonymous with British movie culture. Yeah, I mean, I think they would do a quad for Phantom Menace. Like there's definitely more art to it. Like you see the pod racers, you see more of the planet itself. I just don't know if that's going to be available when the regulars are on May the 4th, just because they did have to do a lot of research into printing something that large because they had never done something like that before. So I think now that they have a good understanding, it'll be fine. But to Dubag's comment regarding AI, I really don't think so. If you look into like any of the AI art, you can tell it's not right. Like, you know, people end up with too many fingers, eyes are too far apart. Like if you're curious how like the art print community I follow, like the movie poster community I follow feels about it, Daniel Danger went on like an epic rant on Twitter about AI. And one of the things he highlighted, which I thought was really interesting, was he found AI pictures and he found in the corner like mangled signatures. It was like little bits and pieces where you could tell it was like 15 or 20 different artist signatures that ended up on this AI image, telling you that like it doesn't come from nothing. Like AI is taking real artists work made by real people and it's mangling it to create this like new thing.
Yeah,
so
it's a mess.
Most people are not fans of AI, like whether it's the art community as a whole or like this stuff with the movie poster thing. But it was just incredibly eye-opening to see those mangled signatures, to know that like it's not the computer being so intelligent, it's creating new faces. It's just stealing it from other people. So
Well, yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm done.
No, I was gonna say is that, you know, what I noticed with AI art too is that like it just looks as perfect as it is. It just looks way too fake. I think with the one thing with art, like art itself, is that the imperfections is what makes it really.
There's no soul in it, you know. Like you
Yeah.
have like an Android's AI, and there's no soul to it. Same thing with the artwork. You don't, you know, it might look cool at first, but if you start really looking into it, it doesn't evoke a feeling.
Yeah, and like I said, like, especially with there's the imperfections, like with their own like hand, the brush strokes itself. Those imperfections is what us collectors look for in
Mhm.
collecting these, just because it makes that whole like when you look at this poster of Return of the Jedi and you look at Luke himself. Like, is it like exactly like Mark Hamill? Absolutely not. But are we looking for something to look exactly? No. We're collecting this artwork just because it's like the artist's style is what makes it
Mhm.
unique, right? Everyone can, just like with statues, right? You could say, oh, Daniel Bell sculpted that. Oh, so and so sculpted that. It's their unique take on what they're trying to sculpt or you know, or make.
Yeah.
So
Otherwise, we'd just be photography collectors, which isn't just
exactly.
anything wrong with that
That's a
because that
great point.
also means that you're going to see something from a different lens. You're going to see it from the lens of an artist behind that camera who's still manipulating things. I forget the name of the artist, but like there's a very famous painting and it's like a yellow background and it's a pipe, kind of like a Sherlock Holmes style pipe.
Mhm.
And in French underneath it, it says, "This is not a pipe." And that was a direct reaction to what he felt was art critics being too critical of artists and being like, well, there's a problem with this painting and this likeness, and maybe this isn't right, or like this one doesn't have enough soul. And he's like, listen, like this isn't supposed to be a painting of a woman. Like, or this isn't supposed to be a woman, it's supposed to be a painting of a woman. This is not a pipe, it's a painting of a pipe. Like, get over yourselves. You're
Right.
taking things too seriously. Like, and even so, like Matt Ferguson, I think his shit is flawless. Like, you could look at it and it's difficult to find fault in like his likenesses, the people, the details he does.
Mhm.
It's just rendered very, very well. But it's the fact that it was done by hand, by an actual person, that makes
Mhm.
it even more impressive, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like one of my party tricks, I almost don't want to say it in case anyone decides to quiz me on it, but a friend of mine knows this, and sometimes he'll just send me something, but um, it's a useless party trick. But one of the things that is really easy for me as someone who follows a lot of artists is I could look at something and be like, Chris Valentine did that. Matt Ferguson did that. Matt
Mhm.
did that. If I've seen it or not, like it's almost like the difference in handwriting. Like if you could tell your
Right.
handwriting, like your wife's handwriting or your kids. So for me, it's like handwriting. Like it's the handwriting that you are looking for. That's what you
Yeah.
appreciate.
It's just their style, Everyone has a unique style to the way they design stuff. Because I'm a graphic designer, and my style is a certain way, and
Mhm.
a lot of people are like, "Oh, you did that," and I'm like, "Yeah, how'd you get?" Because like you said, it almost becomes your signature,
Yeah,
and
and I
it's
do.
just subtle things too that kind of bring it out.
And we are so fortunate and so lucky because we do have artists like Matt Ferguson, like Chris Valentine, like Gabs, Mark Englert, like Kevin Wilson, like some of my favorites. All their stuff looks different. Like there might be some similarities in their style, but like I think the night and day between like Matt Ferguson and Chris Valentine is what's so incredibly exciting about collecting art. Is
Yeah.
they could have totally different styles, totally different mediums, but you can still appreciate them in the same vein. They still make amazing movie posters,
Yeah.
and it's just really cool to see. And I think we're very spoiled for choice. These were more popular than I thought they were going to be. Holy crap!
They sold out quick, right?
They were. I mean, I think they were available for a little bit, but just commentary wise, like the people who I posted these to, and like the people commenting on it.
Mhm.
Most people wanted to buy the set just for the Attack of the Clones, which boggles
Really?
my mind. Yeah, like, well, I guess it's the most dynamic of the three,
Mhm.
but I bought the set for the Phantom Menace and the Revenge of the Sith. I thought those were the
Yeah.
most kind of like
I
tragic. I liked the idea of it's like
Yeah.
how we
That's
start him and how we end with Anakin.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, I wanted the set because of like you said, like Revenge of the Sith and the what's that called? The Phantom Menace. Especially with the scene with Anakin, amongst the Jedi Council. And there were I guess, seeing if he's really the chosen one.
Mhm.
Um
Yeah. Because the Attack of the Clones is my least favorite out of this. The other two
Same.
The other two, I feel like it speaks to you more versus
Mhm.
just an action shot.
Mhm.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? The other ones kind of evoke a little more emotion.
Yeah.
Well, and I also think that like maybe it's just a different perspective because I've never been big on the Jedi. Like I said, I hail from the dark side. So I think if you do like the Jedi, if you did really like learn to appreciate them in the Clone Wars series, then yeah, maybe the episode 2 is for you. But I was really partial. And Pablo Lera, like he definitely has his own unique style, and he's also kind of known for that like panoramic, like it's 12 inches by 36 inches. So
Mhm.
yeah, he did a original trilogy set a few years ago that are still kind of difficult to find if you want to get them.
I have that one. Um, yeah, but I mean, I think I love his work. I have a good majority um, of his prints that Star Wars prints that he put out. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Like going back to like people's style, like you could tell. Like for me, I know Matt Ferguson's art, Chris Valentine's art, Pablo Oliveira's art. Just like by looking at it, it's like that's Pablo. Oh,
Mhm.
that's Chris. Can't wait. Thank you, CC, for posting it and and letting me know that's coming out. Um, so I mean, just going back to getting to know you a little bit more. I know we talk about Prince for like 45 minutes. We could talk Prince for like the whole episode.
Yeah, yeah,
But
Yeah.
which is
but
fine.
yeah, which is fine. We'll go back to it real quick. But so, what are your top 3 favorite Star Wars movies of all time?
Top 3. Well, Empire Strikes Back.
Okay,
for
number
sure.
1.
Yep.
That's number
Okay.
1. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. And then probably Rogue One.
Number 2.
It's number 2.
Telling
Yeah,
you, it's moving up, man.
It's been
Yeah.
moving up. Yeah.
And then it's that third one that's tough. Because I almost want to say it's like I'm torn between Revenge of the Sith and like Return of the Jedi.
New Hope's not in there, huh? No.
And yeah, it's so like I think what my issue with New Hope is I remember as like first watching it, I thought Luke was annoying as shit. I could not get on board with Luke. I thought he was quite whiny. I thought Han was too cocky, but it was nice to get that introduction with Vader. But also for me, like it's so hard to top Empire Strikes Back. Like after that, everything else is playing for second. So I think I like Revenge of the Sith because like I saw it in theaters. We had gotten tickets like months in advance. Like my sister and I both skipped school or middle school to walk downtown and see it.
Oh,
We had a
I'm
doctor's
old.
appointment. My mom
Damn,
called the
me
school
too.
and was like, "Hey, they both have doctor's appointments. Let them leave." And in hindsight, I'm like, "What the heck? Like we're too young to be doing that stuff." But I think it's very like nostalgic for me, and it kind of like all the pieces started fitting together. Like I wasn't invested in Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones. It was kind of just like whatever. And then it was like, oh, it's starting to click. Like everything kind of makes sense now. And then like Return of the Jedi. I really liked Luke in Return of the Jedi. I think he finally seemed interesting, and it's almost like we've talked about. I roll on the dark side. Like he's wearing black the whole time. You really don't know what's going to happen, and then like his shirt pops open. And it's got the the light gray on the inside. And you're like, he was always going to be redeemed. But like he kind of seemed a lot more mysterious than the movie. So I think for that reason, I really like Return of the Jedi. Everyone else typically likes the Ewoks, and we're sold on the Ewoks.
No.
Yeah, they're okay.
Least favorite part of that movie.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, Revenge of the Sith. I know the prequels got it's hate, right? When it first came out, and I think it's because of George Lucas's writing, of the screenplay. I wish I could find that cut, but there was someone out there that just did a major edit for all 3 movies, and you could watch it all 3 movies within like 2 hours, right?
Oh, it was Topher Grace from.
Was it?
It was the actor from That 70s show. Yeah.
Yeah.
He cut all 3 movies into one.
Yeah, and then if you watch that and you actually watch just the whole story itself unraveling in terms of like the fall of the Jedi, how one person just dismantled the whole Republic, how he played both sides of the fence, and you know, rises, here comes the Empire,
Yeah.
and it just to watch that, you appreciate the prequels more. I've always liked the prequels. I know it has its flaws with the writing, the directing, and there's a lot of yes men around George. Like they didn't want to challenge him because it's George Lucas, right? But I wish there were there were more people that push back and say, hey George, let's not add that, let's not add that Gungan scene, add more
Well,
Jar Jar, but not more Boss
I-
Nats. No more Boss Nats.
it's a shame because like there's some beautiful designs that come
Oh
out of that
yeah.
movie. Like I think everyone talks about like Darth Maul was the best thing that ever happened. Like come out of the prequels, that or Padme. Like I love Natalie Portman's beautiful. Like I could just look at her all day. But I think too that like not to speak just from like my generation as a 90s kid, but like there's a lot of politics. And
Yeah.
I think those Gungan scenes, like the things that we laugh about now as Star Wars fans, it was really to sell toys. It almost like reminds me of was it Joel Schumacher who directed Batman? Was it Batman Forever? Where he was like, I let the toy companies have too much control. Like he didn't make that movie to like entertain kids.
Yeah, it was rough.
It was to sell toys. So I do kind of think of that kind of stuff when I think of the prequels. But I think, like anything, time heals a lot of wounds. And I think my friends who shit on the sequels all the time will tell you, like, well, it's better than what Disney has done with the sequel trilogy. And I don't necessarily agree with that, but I think it's easier to look back at things that we grew up with and appreciate it now from a different lens. I also those aren't the ones I turn on to rewatch all the time. Like it's the original trilogy.
Yeah, it's
that
original.
I want to watch on repeat and stuff like that. So I think with the anniversary and everything, I am gonna watch Phantom Menace and see how it goes.
Are you going to the theaters? You gonna go to the theaters and see it?
I'd like to. We'll see, because I don't know how long it'll be in theaters, but I actually have plans for May the 4th. There's a Star Wars themed parody burlesque show in Denver. So I had a coworker who went and loved it, and so I'm going to that. I'm going to a Star Wars burlesque show on May the 4th. So
Nice.
who knows if I'll be able to watch Phantom Menace.
I think it's Phantom Menace May 3rd though. I think it might.
It might be. It might start May the 3rd.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to my local GG Rama. I think the employees there are dressing up as like prequel characters, like
yeah. Yeah. I know.
I'm not going there. I'm not going there. Just kidding, guys. I'm not going to
as much as I can't stand Jar Jar, I'm hoping we'll
Sean
probably
was
go
like
see it
in
the
actual
theater.
disgust when I was saying that.
Oh, dude, I don't. Yeah, it's not good.
I'm just kidding, but no, I'm gonna watch the Phantom Menace in the movie theater. Most of us probably dislike the first half of that movie. It's just the later half. Later half when Darth Maul shows up, and some of the
Maul's the man. It's crazy. They come up with the best villain since Vader, and then they kill him.
I know. Well, they didn't technically kill him.
Technically, no one can die in Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, so Cece, all right, so your dark side, and how about like the things that you collect in terms of Star Wars? Just we all know that you collect the art prints. Is there anything else that you collect? I know statues, obviously, correct, right?
I do, but I I would say like the thing I get most excited about, or like the things I focus on the most, are going to be like the art prints and the prop replicas. More so
Okay,
than
gotcha.
like I have, is it 5? They have 5 quarter scale statues. I don't count the NYC model. I have the AT-AT and the N1 and the tie advance. I don't count those in the 5. So the 5 I've got are like quarter scale. I have my Thrawn, which is my first quarter scale, and I still love it. It's the Zion art with him in the command chair.
Oh, nice.
I'm a sucker for the throne pose. I have the NYC Boba Fett on throne. I have the Enfys Nest NYC and was exclusive with Row 16. So I think
Yep.
they did an excellent job with that. It's beautiful.
Oh, it looks great.
And the only like, dare I say, good guy I've got, I think it's a gray area with that one, but I have Greedo in my kitchen. Greedo lives in my kitchen. It's like I've made my kitchen cantina.
Yeah.
And then I've got this Sideshow premium format up here, and then I'm waiting on a decent quarter scale Robert Pattinson one to go up here. But yeah,
Get the 1/3 scale.
Oh,
Prime 1.
I've got the I always forget about that one because it is 3rd scale. I have the Prime 1 Talon, which is a total like one-off. I liked the artistry of it, and I liked the story, and I knew no one else was going to be doing one. Like no one was going to do a quarter scale Talon. I have like, is it 1 or 2? I have a Batman statue on order that's like comic inspired, but I'm trying to stick with like just, I'd like to have just 1 Bale, 1 Pattinson, and like call it good. And then with Star Wars, I don't have a Vader statue yet, and that's a problem, right? Because he's my favorite. And I'm toying with the Iron Studios Vader on throne.
Oh yeah, gotta get that.
I love the throne situation, and it would basically be him, Thrawn, and Boba Fett like kind of in the same like corner of my room. So I am, and that looks good. That looks good in hand. Like there's one person who posted pictures, and I was like, "God,
Is it released yet? Or I mean, I only saw
No.
one.
That situation's so weird because he hasn't even gone live on Iron Studios website yet. But all the distributors, Sideshow, I think is it on Sideshow, maybe Big Bad Toy Store. I forget what other distributor I looked at, have him like waitlisted. And I'm like, how is it waitlisted if he hasn't actually released yet? Nor have they announced the edition size. But I think it was a sculptor that I follow.
They haven't announced the edition size on that one yet?
No. And it was I forget the collector. I think he was overseas, like somewhere in Asia. But he had posted pictures of it in hand, like amongst his collection. And he had said it was an edition size of 450. Which I was like, oh, seriously? Like I was hoping for like 1,000, 2,000, so I have time to think about it. Because I really did like the look of the mythos, the new mythos.
Oh yeah.
But it's just it's that, and like also knowing that there's a few customs that are making incredible Vaders or working on incredible Vaders that have me really apprehensive. So I think the Vader on throne makes the most sense for me right now.
Well, here's the thing too, is that like, you know, we have and hopefully I could get him on the show soon. And Adams, you know, announced that they're doing the PCS is doing, you know, 1/3 scale Star Wars statues, right?
Yeah.
So if they have the license, oh my gosh, you know, and we all saw what they could do with some of the other licenses that they have. I mean, I was watching Toy Quest when it was Toy Quest 101. When they showed all the Ninja Turtles all set up, right? It was like, that's beautiful. And I just can't imagine what they would do with that Star Wars license.
I think they've said so far that they're definitely doing Maul. So it seems like the formula they're following is like the stuff that sells. Maul, maybe Vader. They are doing the 1-to-1. They call it artist series.
Yeah.
Bust. I have the 1-to-1 scale bust coming from MFA, the like battle damaged one. If you've seen it.
Yeah.
So the unlicensed one. So yeah, I think it's still going to be that 1/3 though. And part of me is like, I've started with 1/4, like quarter scale. I think I really want to try to stick to that.
Just
Unless,
stick to it. Yeah.
yeah, because I don't, also, I don't know anyone else who's going to do like a Thrawn unless it's now like the Ahsoka license, like that likeness as Thrawn. And the one I've got now is kind of like the Rebel style one, or like the generic kind of like Heir to the Empire looking portrait. I'm gonna stick with that. Like I don't. So it is exciting for the people who are quarter scale. I'm sorry, 1/3 scale collectors. I hope my cost is not watching this. I doubt it, but I'm just not. Like I know it's got presents and like all this other stuff, but I'm just like, if I were to collect statues at large, I wouldn't be able to have like the 5 I've got. And like that's, so I am very selective with statues because like space and all of that. It's the prop replicas. I made a point to be kind of particular with that, or only collect, like I said, the Empire.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those, right? It all depends on how you want your collection to look like. I think with the 1/3 scale statues is that like, because I've seen people with like, with the Marvel 1/3 scale or even the DC ones. I think if you're gonna go that route, I think you're gonna have to make it like almost like a museum type of display, right? You might have to like sell off some of your cores because you can't. It takes up too much room. When you go that big, it just takes up too much room. And but the thing too is that like if you're gonna go that big, you better make sure that they nail the likenesses, the pose, like everything. It has to be perfect. Because that will be your only representation of that character. It just takes up too much space. As opposed to if you have quarter scales, you could have 2 Boba Fett's or two Darth Vaders, that will be equivalent to 1/3 scale of a Vader. So, but at least you have options, right? I think that's the beauty about this hobby now, especially collecting statues, is that we never had these options back in the day. You were just kind of like, all right, well, when's Sideshow going to release their Star Wars quarter scale statue, right?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else made anything like, outside of Sideshow.
Yeah. And I think that's it's exciting to see anyone go back into that game, right? So it's just, because I think Sideshow kind of has the monopoly on Star Wars statues, unless they're talking like Gentle Giant, which don't get me started on likenesses with Gentle Giant.
It's just hit or miss.
Yes.
Yeah.
They make great stuff, and then especially like the legendary scale busts, those are amazing. I think that's my favorite. And then some of their 1/6 scale or 1/7 scale stuff.
Well, I just got that 1/6 Akbar from them. It's pretty awesome. It's really good. Yeah.
And then they started doing the concept stuff, which I'm just like, oh, do I really need to add another scale to? Right. I've got the older Kotobukiya, Vader and Luke fighting, like the Macquarie ones. So, and those are like 1/7. But yeah, statues, and thankfully, like, I don't know if I could collect much else, honestly. Between like the art prints and stuff, like I'm very fortunate, knock on wood, that with the prop replicas, they tend to be kind of like few and far between. Like we don't have a Bausch helmet coming out every 6 months.
Yeah.
Like Bausch, so for budget reasons, for financial responsibility reasons, I think those are kind of few and far between. That one dude posted his entire collection of NYC stuff, and I was like, good God, like that's. So I think, pacing yourself is key in this hobby, I want to say. And I'm also, like I said, I don't fall out of love with stuff easily. I'm not one to like sell things once I have it. I did sell something for the first time ever, but it was a helmet I'd waited for 2 years. So I sold it. I got it in hand. Yeah, it was the Lando Skiff Guard helmet.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was one of those, like, who was it? Parminder from Hyperdrive was like, are you going to open the box before you sell it, or are you just going to send it? And I was like, I was just going to send it. And he was like, if you open the box, you're going to keep it. And I was like, well,
Right.
more of a reason why I'm not going to open the
Yeah.
box. He said it's beautiful, but I'm just like, I kind of made an exception for Bausch, not kind of being like that gray area, not necessarily bad guy, but also in disguise.
Mhm.
And I'm like, if it's space versus a skiff guard helmet that I was kind of breaking some rules getting in the first place, I'm like, I'm gonna take that space back. I think I'm gonna end up putting like a Rogue One helmet somewhere instead. Like I really want a Shore Trooper. That's on my wish list.
Yeah.
The new
How about
Novo's got the Shore Troopers.
Yeah, the
Yep.
new Novo. All right.
Mhm.
Yeah. I keep waiting for the specialist one to come out with the light on it.
I thought it did come out.
Oh, they announced it, but it's not out. I kind of wait for their stuff to get in stock, and then because that's the last helmet I want for this group up here.
I do
Yeah.
have the.
Well, you said, did you say Death Trooper or Shore Trooper?
So I said Shore Trooper, but Death
Oh.
Trooper, that's one of my
I-
favorite designs.
Yeah, I
Like-
had Death Trooper on the mind.
I've got 2 TIE fighters. I'm obsessed with. I love the TIE fighters.
Mhm.
Love the Death Trooper. Love the Shore Trooper. The Death Trooper I have is actually the Gentle Giant one.
Oh,
I got
really?
it for like $150
Nice.
because the dude was selling it with no box, and I think it looks great. Like it's static, you can't wear it, but I
Oh,
was
Sean.
I
yeah,
was
this
like-
is the
yeah.
this is the one that I thought you. I do have the Shore Trooper helmet from Denuo Novo,
Mhm.
but this one's on my mind because it's been on my radar for a while, just waiting for it to go.
It
in
looks
stock.
beautiful.
Well, it's got to
Yeah.
go in stock, and then I like to catch them like on a May the 4th, where they give you
Like 10% off.
Like
and
10% off free shipping. Yeah, that's a great deal.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
You definitely want them in stock because otherwise I think you're going to be waiting a while. I had bought
Yeah.
the Shore Trooper off of someone, and the fins towards the bottom had broken.
Oh,
By the time
really?
I got it from Denuo Novo. Yeah. So I was
Oh.
like, I'll get it eventually from them.
Mhm.
But we talked about it, obviously. I'm a huge Rogue One fan.
Yeah.
And that's another wall I'm working on. I have like a whole, it's small. It's a small wall, but I plan on putting all of my Rogue One, almost all of my Rogue One art prints on one wall. And I was lucky enough, was it last year? Must have been. Last year I got an original sketch from Glenn Dillon, who was one of the concept artists for Rogue One and worked on the
Nice.
Shore Trooper pretty
Oh
heavily.
wow.
So I got
that's
him
cool.
to do a Shore Trooper for me.
Sweet.
Oh, that's so. Well, I was
Yeah.
gonna say too. Speaking of prop replicas, I think did you get the Wampa from Regal Robot?
I did.
Oh man.
They got me on that Legacy edition.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the legacy is where it's at, especially if you didn't get the Rancor one, right? The legacy edition of that, you got to get the legacy edition of the Wampa just because it's Phil Tippett,
Yeah.
Cool.
who actually sketched one sketch for you for
Yeah.
you and the Wampa, right?
One of one. I'm very particular with. I'm not one of those, like, I didn't drink the Kool-Aid. I don't have to collect every single concept maquette. And people ask me all the time, like, what
Yeah.
concept maquettes do you have? Are you getting the other ones? Like, I have the OG, like the big Tauntaun, not the life-size one, the big concept maquette.
Yeah,
I
the unpainted one, right?
The unpainted one. Obsessed. I love it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I stare at it all the time. I have the Tauntaun heads, like the bus, the 4 set.
Oh, yeah, those are good.
And
I think
now
those
just
sold out quick too.
yeah, they yeah, I think they did. Well, they were also a good price. I think it was like $400 for like the 4 of
Yeah.
them. So
I think Jeff from the Jeff's got it also.
Mhm.
Because he was
Well,
the one that told me that he bought all 4 or something like that.
and I'm a little concerned going forward with the releases. I think Regal Robot's understanding that they can't have a lot of big stuff release so close together because
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's
Payment
a huge
plans.
drain.
It's hard.
Yep.
Yeah, for
Like-
me, like I still haven't. I mean, I'm sure I can still get that Wampa somewhere. I think it's still available, but it was just so close to release of the Rancor, which I'm still paying off.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, and there's so many things too, right? I'm just like you said, like CC, like I'm pacing myself too, right? Like, which is good because I'm not coming on the show like, hey guys, I got a whole bunch of stuff that I bought recently. Like, I was able to do it back in the day, where it was like, oh yeah, I got, Hot Toys this or Hot Toys that or Sideshow this or Statue this. But now
things were a lot cheaper back then too.
yeah, things were a lot cheaper back then. Now things is definitely more expensive. Shipping's expensive, and there's a lot more things that's released now. A lot more companies doing things. So, I mean, unless you're Jeff Bezos, that could collect all everything, it's hard for your average collector to keep up with the Joneses. Let's just say.
Well, I will say, like, I don't know if this is like this might be like one of the most inspiring stories I'll ever tell when it comes to collecting. But the first celebration I ever went to was in Orlando because it was practically my backyard. Like, I'm from Sarasota; it's 2 hours away. And I remember seeing for the first time like a Darth Vader like pirate helmet, and it was in the 501st area. It was definitely not licensed. It was and I lurked the RPF for years, and I remember like Master Edie, he did one run, and I was like, oh, I can't swing it. It's just too expensive for me. He did a second run. I don't know if I like the design. Also, can't swing it. Man, he's only doing 20 of them. Shit. Okay. Nope, can't get it. Then he did a third one, a run, and I wasn't paying attention at all to the RPF or collecting in general. Like, I had just moved to Colorado, couldn't swing it even if I wanted to, and I was always like, are you kidding? Like, he only did like 20 or 25 of each of these runs. Like, there's no way I'm gonna own one. It's my prized possession. Like, so I think it's in my living room. It sits next to me when I'm watching TV. Like, if there's a fire, I'd struggle grabbing the art prints, but I'm definitely grabbing, like, he's already been burned. Like, I'm not gonna do my guy like that and like let him get burned again. But it's like, I hope people aren't discouraged when they see stuff like the Regal Robot things or the RS stuff. Like, do people expect like a premium once stuff like that sells out? Sure. But like, I never thought I'd be able to get that helmet. Like, I thought there's no way, it's cost prohibitive. Like, who do I know would give something like that up when they've only done like 20 of them or whatever? So I do tell myself when it comes to like, hey, should I buy this and put it on a payment plan, which is practically like a new car payment every month, or wait? And I feel like if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Like, if you have to miss out on it, like, there's always going to be things coming up. People always have things in their life that change where they'll have to give something up. So I think like the FOMO is real, and I think a lot of people demand a lot of money for some of this stuff. And so that's how I feel when I see something where I'm like, oh, should I get it? Would it be a hardship right now financially? Sure. Like, let me just wait. Like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
I agree.
Because there's things like the AT-AT helmet where it's like, crap, if I don't get this now, it's going to be difficult to get later. But then things always happen, right? Like, things happen for a reason. Like, people are going to let go of stuff like the Bausch helmet, and people are going to sell this AT-AT. Like, it'll happen eventually. So I try to tell myself out of the FOMO that, like, if it's meant to be, it'll happen. And, like, don't stress because it's supposed to be a hobby. It's supposed to be fun. All of this.
Right. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. And you make great points, Cece, because I'm in that same boat as well. When back in the day, I was like, I got to get that new hot toy. Oh my gosh, I'm so scared of missing out. But now I just realized that I love Star Wars, right? We all do, right? We love everything about Star Wars. We can't collect everything Star Wars, right? So I think you just got to pick and choose which would hold dear to your heart. Like, for me, a Rancor, when I saw the Regal Robot Rancor, I was like, yep, it's what, $3,000? I don't care. By hook or by crook, I will add that to my collection. And then Sideshow's like, oh yeah, here's another one. Oh my, by hook or by crook, I'm gonna get that Rancor. And to this day, I have no regrets. Did I eat, spam for 3-4 months? Yeah, but it was worth it. My cholesterol's pretty high, but no, but you're right. Like if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If you really, really love that piece, then go get it. Don't live in the or have that feeling of regret later on. Like, damn, I should have gotten it. Oh, I wish I gotten it.
Well, have you seen that meme? This reminds me of that meme where it's like, hey, people who are addicted to meth, they don't wake up and wonder like how they're gonna get money for their meth. They just make that happen. Like you go out there and you make that happen. You manifest that Star Wars collection. And so like
you work it, girl. You work it.
with the Wampa and the Legacy Edition, I was like, I'm like, 1 year payment plan. Sorry, Tom, you're not sending that to me for a year. Like it's gonna take a year, but I'll get it eventually. Don't worry about it. Like it's just gonna collect. It's gonna have more dust on it. It's just gonna give it character. But I'm gonna get that Wampa. I'm gonna make it happen.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say too is that like Feet Finder is a great website for you. I've been going and getting my my pedicure. So
you know what? Would it be?
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
We should honestly we should cater to our audience. Like not your feet. I'm saying like feet. I'll do the AT-AT feet. It'll just be Porg. Who's got a Porg? We'll just take photos of different Star Wars feet.
Just a Star Wars foot fetish.
And then you know what? Guess what?
It'll be like if Quentin Tarantino did Star Wars. That's what
I get some salacious crumb feet, all pterodactyl style.
I'll paint my toenails like some like Darth Vader like helmet or something.
Palpatine. I want Palpatine fingers.
Palpatine. Oh yeah.
Come on.
By
this
the way,
is a perfect business model.
Oh yeah. Just really quick. I'm wearing the shirt right now. And can I tell you, I've been rocking Rebel Scum is on the chat. We're working with them. So if you guys are interested in getting amazing apparel or amazing shirts, please check out their website. I'll put the link in the description below. But just really quick before I do that, man, oh man, they made my dreams come true. They made my dreams come true. And I'm definitely getting this shirt, and I'm rocking it next week, Sean. I am rocking it. Thank you. Thank you, Rebel Scum.
And I might not be here next week.
Thank you. And please use code SITCAST15 on checkout to save 15% off. I'm not even joking, guys. Sean, you try their shirts on. They are super duper.
I got them here.
Yeah, they're like. Can you show your Plo Koon?
Yeah,
dude, they're comfortable, man. I'm not even joking. I'm not even trying to sell it, man.
These were my pickups last week, but yeah.
Oh, cool. I gotta talk to Rebel Scum about those tapestries.
Yeah, I like this shirt. I think this one's cool.
Yeah, but they're so comfortable. I'm telling you, they're probably one of the best shirts I've worn. Seriously.
The Mall.
The Mall. Yeah.
The Mall's badass. That's
yeah. So guys, definitely, please check them out. You're not gonna regret it. I guarantee it. Like they do. Dude, I went to the coffee shop last week. I was wearing my Anakin one, and the girl was like looking at it, is like, whoa, like she was just amazed by like just the design of it.
Yeah.
Can you show the whole Plo Koon, Sean, unfolded? Logan is asking.
We're making sales, baby. We're making it happen.
I agree, Jeff. Those flags are really cool.
Look at that. Look at the design.
It's such a great shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I love the colors. It's so cool.
Yeah, the designs are amazing. So I'll show you guys mine. I mean, I'm wearing the one. Yeah. It's basically, I don't want to stand up. I'm only wearing underwear. Sorry.
You're not wearing underwear? What?
Well, no, I'm
not even Friday.
We just talked about not
amazing.
You can't show feet pictures. Not when you have to sell those.
I know. That's why I got to blur out my. Yeah. Sorry, guys. No feet pictures here. You do what you got to do for merch, for Star Wars merch, T-shirts, collectibles, statues. I'll do whatever it takes.
I know. If only, like I tell people, like cocaine is cheaper. Like I wish I gotten into cocaine instead because
It is, right?
I know. Sean always says it.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug. It's
Yeah.
like Star Wars collecting's a hell of a drug.
Drug, man. It's freaking hell of a drug. So, OB says I bought my Rebels mural from Rebel Scum last fall. I have 3 signatures on it so far.
Oh,
Awesome,
that
man.
mural, yeah, that thing, that tapestry, is that what he's talking
that
about?
pastry, yeah, that's freaking.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say anything in case it doesn't happen, but I want to talk to him about a mural because there is art from Star Wars that I've always wanted someone to do as like a wall display, and they haven't done it yet. So I want to see if he could make that happen.
Sweet.
Yeah. Look at the Rebels one. That one's pretty cool.
And
the
Rebels one's cool.
The Mortis.
And reasonably priced too. You know?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
$35.
You can't beat that. Look at that.
Yeah.
And look at some of the shirts too.
And the pod racer flags that Jeff had mentioned, I almost want to get those and see if I could distress them and put them up in a spot kind of like they do at Batu. Like the gathered different like clan flags almost.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, this is the one I was rocking last week. They were like,
Anakin.
I love it, man. It was great. It was great shirts, great quality shirts.
There's a Thrawn.
The Thrawn one, yeah. I saw Edmund rocking this. I was like, whoa, what shirt is that? The design. Yeah, the design's amazing, man. And they're all, fairly priced or really priced really well. So yeah, please check them out. I'll put the link in the chat. Also, use code SITCAST15, save 15% off your purchase. I need Keenan and Zeb. Yeah,
a Zeb one would be pretty cool, right?
Yeah, Zeb one would be pretty cool. But I gotta get that Jar Jar, man. I'm gonna run. But yeah, CC, like I said, like I think you started off just collecting prints and then you ventured out to doing like statues, right? And then other prop replica stuff. Or you always kind of prop first? Yeah,
because like I started with art prints in like 2015 or 16. I think it was 15.
Yeah.
And those are the things that like I could store easily without having to display them, if that makes sense. Yeah, mind you, I didn't display them pretty well. Like I kept most of them in tubes or whatever. If I didn't frame them. But then I started with like I got some Disney hilts. Those were my first like props. Actually, I think my first prop, like what got me into the prop replica thing, because I lurked the replica prop forum for years, just looking at people's projects. But also, it was kind of strange, like just buying from strangers via PayPal, like with no safety net, if that makes sense. So it's not like I had a lot of things from the RPF, but I actually started with I collected fictional law enforcement badges from like comic books. So got the Metropolis PD. I have a shadow box at work of all just badges from comic books.
That's cool.
And I've got a small display now of just Star Wars badges. Like the New Republic badge from Mando. I wow. Like the first time we had seen like kind of like a law enforcement badge like in the Star Wars first. So
that's the one that Cara Dune was rocking, right?
Yep, the gold one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I started with those, and then I got like some lightsaber hilts, and then I think I started with like Black Series helmets, and then I got my first RS helmet because of the Rogue 16 guys, and I'll never forget like Andrea was a saint. She let me put like a tie helmet on a payment plan, because it was just that's all I could swing back then. So
I
still love that helmet. It was my first like RS helmet. I'm still obsessed. It's the TIE fighter with the tears.
Yeah, that's the one you got to go with. That one's the coolest.
I got that one, and then I got the second one, like the I think they call it the TIE Hero 2, because I wanted Vader with his co-pilots.
Oh, that's
like New Hope. So
those helmets are huge, though, right? Those TIE helmets are massive.
If you have like X-wing helmet, you know how big they are, but I think they seem bigger because like mine have the tubes and everything else. I'm a sucker for the ties, and so I have the 2 RS ties that are kind of like my Black Besta TV unit, and then in the center is the Anovos Vader.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
besides the melted Vader, that's the only Vader helmet I have right now. But yeah, their RS just do a great job. And like you almost don't know what you're supposed to see until you have one of their helmets, and you're like, "Yep, this looks like what's in the movie."
Yeah, you're like, I get it. Yeah. I
Yep.
really can't wait for them to start doing X-Wing helmets again.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's just
Because I've reached out to Rob a few times, and he's like, "Well, how many do you want to get?" I was like, "I'll buy like 3 of them right now." I'm like, and then that's never happened.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say too, CC, like, it's great too. You're collecting a lot of these, this helmets and prop replicas and stuff. You know, and now it's just cool that, like, RS is doing more things. There's all these options with the new Novos as well. EFX also, I think. I'm not even
Yep.
sure they're even putting out any helmets though. That's the problem. I think they're just doing mostly like sabers, right?
The last one they did was the Bo-Katan. I want to
Yeah.
say
They did
that and they did the armor as well.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
armor as well.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with helmets, as much as I love them, I'm eventually going to run out of like ones I want, because
Yeah.
I'm not one of those like collect them like Pokemon. Like I have to have every Star Wars helmet that's ever existed.
Yeah.
I just want the designs I really appreciate. The Thrawn was tempting, like not Thrawn, but like Ahsoka, like seeing the ones with the gold, like the Chiaroscuro, like Japanese kind of style helmets.
Yeah.
That's tempting to add something like that to my collection, because Thrawn's my second favorite character. But yeah, RS, like the guys over there, they do an excellent job. They're just really good people too. Like I'm waiting for like an angry message from Andrea, because I've got like Rob's gotten quite into art prints.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it was funny. He was at a convention and this guy was walking around with a American Werewolf in London poster, and he was getting it signed. And Rob goes, "This is a really nice poster. Who did this?" And the guy was like, "His name's Matt Ferguson." And Rob was like, "I don't know why I expected anything less." Like,
He's everywhere.
This dude.
Yeah. But and I was gonna say, your knowledge for the art prints it's so helpful, and like I said, like whenever I see your post up, I'm always like, all right, let me see this. And then you're just so descriptive on like who's the artist, how many what's the edition size, what type of paper it's printing on, when and where it's going to be released. So really appreciate that, CC. And going back to like some of the with collecting nowadays, it's hard, right? Like for me, I'm actually pretty much out of Hot Toys now. I just think it's just too many,
Yeah.
too much. I hate to say it, and I'm probably gonna get burned for saying this, but I feel like they're just becoming like the new Funkos. Not in that level, but they're getting there. It's just with the new, like, okay, special edition this and reissue this, and putting out pretty much every character ever was displayed on screen. I mean, who can really catch up and collect everything? It's really hard. So that's why for me, like, have OCD where it comes to becoming a completionist. So I just took myself out of it,
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, it's a blessing and a curse, because they're coming out with characters that people want and are kind of more niche, but also you're like, couldn't you have come out with this years ago? Like there's people who are still waiting for like original trilogy characters when it comes to Hot Toys. And thankfully, like for years I've had friends be like, you need to get a Hot Toy. Like if you get one, you'll understand. And I'm like, no, I don't, because they're just, you're right. Like the price is not going any lower. So you're talking like $300 or $400. And I'm just like, do you know what I can get for that? Like that's almost an RS helmet, depending on the helmet. You know what I mean? So and it's funny, like I've seen so many people, J2SO, was he in the chat earlier? Maybe. Over at Spice Runners, he's one as well that he displays the Hot Toys next to props. He'll have a Hot Toy and then a helmet, and I think it looks incredible.
Yeah.
But I think with most of my friends, like Matt, Jason, and Steve over at Rogue 16, like they started with Hot Toys, and then it just got out of hand. Like something made them.
I can relate.
Yeah, like it's, and then you turn to statues, and then like
Yeah.
I think Steve's getting out of statues quite a bit, but there's also things like I don't collect Hot Toys, but I can still talk about them, and I can still get the people who do.
And
yeah,
they're
and you can
great.
appreciate them.
Yeah, it's. I'm not bashing Hot Toys. I'm just giving you a reason why I got out. But I think they all look great. Like, when did Hot Toys ever make a really bad looking Hot Toy besides the Force Awakens Chewbacca?
Yeah, that was
right.
Rough.
Yep,
that was rough.
Or that Ant-Man, the one that was smiling.
Or the Ant-Man.
Oh yeah, that one's rough.
The smiling one. But besides those two, what haven't they come out that didn't look good? You know.
I think there's always like that evolution in collecting where like everyone knows I drink the Kool-Aid with art prints. I always have art prints. I always love collecting art prints and talking about them. But I also the last like year and a half, 2 years, have gotten into original art. And when you talk about like the different price brackets.
With original art.
And like that kind of stuff, and whether it's like comic book published stuff and not published stuff. That could be a bit much. So I think we always have multiple things kind of like vying for our money, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But at least I like to think that I could be excited about talking about art prints to people, because at its worst, you're talking like $40 or $50. That's why like back in 2015, when my salary was like a fourth of what it is now, I could at least collect art prints. Like I could see a $40 art print here and there. Like some can get a little higher, but that's what I think is kind of fun, is it makes it a little accessible. And even like there's companies like Matt Ferguson's, I'll plug them, even though they don't do a lot of Star Wars stuff. Unless it's with Bottleneck, but they've even started doing, they call it, we were talking about size earlier. They do what they call editions. So they will release a poster or it's a gicle print. But the size will be, is it A2? It's a weird size for us as Americans, but it's much smaller. It's almost like a little smaller than an 18 by 24. And they literally did that for people who just want the art, but don't want to pay for like a full size 24 by 36 or have the space for it. It's literally like, I just want the art. And like the Phantom Menace one that's coming out on May the 4th, like I almost bought the popcorn bucket that they just came out with, where it's got the same poster on the popcorn bucket. And I'm do I really need a popcorn bucket? But
yes.
It's like popcorn bucket. It did come with 2 plastic cups, which I'm like, could that be my new fine china at home? Like these plastic Phantom Menace cups instead. So I think like there's what I like about art prints is there's kind of like a price bracket for everyone. I'm not talking Hot Toys money. It's just whether you have the space or the space for like a portfolio. So that's what I think is kind of cool. Is for the most part they're cheaper than like Black Series helmets.
Yeah, and that's one thing too. And they're great looking too. It's not like, you know, it's not like a Black Series. Well, the face sculpt is a little off, or, you know, it's just they're easier to collect. They're cheaper. You can put them in portfolios. Doesn't take up a lot of room. But you know, as I start collecting, I'm just sticking to statues now and prop replicas and things like that. Even that alone is taking up a lot of room, where I'm even considering just like, okay, I'll put it out on display for like 3-4 months and then put it back in the box and, you know, switch it out with a another statue or something like that. I know one of my friends that does that, but you know, he's been collecting for a while and he's only been collecting statues, but he's got like a storage unit now. So I don't know if I want to, you know, like I don't want to go to that route where I collect so much of so many statues, where I have a storage unit full of statues that I'm switching out every 3 months, you know.
Yeah, that's tough. That's why I try to be, like you say, you try to be a little bit picky because I like having a mixture of everything. You know, helmets, sabers, statues,
Mhm.
hot toys, just art. You know, I started getting into the autograph game this year, so I've got a little mini autograph wall that I'm like into. I
Yeah.
try to
That's
just I try to
dangerous.
be picky there too. So,
Yeah.
but I like having a nice mixture.
Yeah, I like to have a nice picture as well. Um, I'm kind of getting into the autograph scene as well. I have a little
It could be
that
dangerous.
it can't it
Yeah.
is yeah,
Yeah.
especially how much they're charging. I mean, Hayden is
Yeah.
like $200.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Mark Hamill, you're looking at
Uh,
1,000.
Yeah.
So that's
That's crazy. It
I
used to
don't.
be it used to be $100 in New York Comic Con.
Yeah, and but a lot of these people, like, they're not getting any younger, and that's one
Yeah.
thing that I
Mm.
don't want to collect. Like, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I have some prints that are signed, and I'm like, it doesn't look any different than unsigned ones. Like,
Yeah.
it's just as beautiful on the wall. Like, you can't, like, that's not the first thing you see when you see an art print on the wall, whether it's signed or
Right.
not. Like, it's
Yeah.
like, I'm very like, if I'm there and they're there, I'll get it signed, and then it'll feel kind of like more like sentimental in that regard.
Yeah.
But
Because you got to meet them.
stuff
Yeah.
Oh wow.
is so expensive, and like, I don't. I have a friend in LA who collects art prints, and he gets them signed by
Oh,
the actors and stuff like that, and it's insane. Just he has a ton that are like really beautiful, but I'm just like, I don't. I have one. So at MegaCon, I got a Loki print signed by Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah.
And so I do like that because I was with my friend and everything, but I don't, I'm just like, I can't make that a habit. I don't want it to be like a gotta collect them all situation.
Yeah.
I'm also kind of weird where, no offense to actors, but there's something I've always appreciated the signatures from like the creators more than the actors. Like, it's cool to have Phil Tippett's signature. Do I need 7 plaques with his signature? Nah, no, not.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm very like anti-plaque. I'm sorry. Like, I don't, like, now I feel like this is a confessional, but I don't like the look of a bunch of plaques in a collection. It depends. Like, so
Have
other
you
people.
seen the aerial plaques? I don't know if Sean you could pull one up, but
Oh, I've seen. So they could be like color
Yeah, the
photos and
photographs.
stuff on them.
yeah,
They're
those
great, but I just have an aversion to them. And anyone else's collection, I think the plaques look fine. It's just something about having them in amongst my collection. I have to remind myself, like, this is my apartment. Like, I'm sitting in my living room. So, like, to have all these plaques looks too museum-like. And I'm like, let's be real. Like, I don't live in a museum. This is supposed to be, like, my comfort zone, my sanctuary. Like,
Right.
I don't want it to be so formal that I've got plaques that say, like, what I have and who created it and who signed it. Like, I know who did it. I know who created it. I know who. The only thing I've got signed that I love, besides the Tom Hiddleston art print, is the Snowtrooper Commander concept maquette. So it was the concept helmet that Rogue One 6 and RS did.
Yep.
So it's enclosed on the inside, like the bottom. You can't wear it. It's kind of like a statue.
Right.
But because it's like enclosed on the underside, I thought it was a perfect kind of canvas for all the guys who worked on it to sign it. And because of the angle of it, like from where I sit, like right now, I could see the signatures poking out from behind it. So that is like the only thing I could think of that I've asked, like, hey, can you sign that? That's super special to me.
Right.
But they're just so expensive. So you're talking about you have like a prop that's several $100s, and then you're adding a plaque that costs about as much, if not more.
They could. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's not one of the things that I want to add to my collecting journey. Like, I'd rather put that money into like the other things I want to do. Now, I have thought about it, like we talked briefly about Japan.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know exactly how many of my friends are going, but it's definitely on my list to go. I could see me bringing an art print to get signed, if only to have them see the artist's work. Like, I've gotten that kind of, like, Chris Valentine was like, can you imagine if someone got like Hayden Christensen to sign my Revenge of the Sith, and I'm like, noted for Japan. Like, I'll keep that in mind, just because like he's just, I think that's kind of very satisfying to know that like your work extended that far. So that's the only thing I could think of when it comes to me getting into
signatures. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and that's the thing too with collecting, right? There's no right way or wrong way to collect. I think as long as you are collecting for the right reason, which is to make yourself happy and not to please others, or like you said, like, you know, FOMO, fear of missing out, or things like that. Like, you're actually getting the piece because you love that artist or character or design, or whatever reason why you love that piece, not because, oh, you know what, I'm gonna get this piece because, oh man, everyone's getting it and I don't want to miss out, and I think I'm gonna get street cred when I pick up you know, that those are the wrong reasons. You got to pick up something that will make, you know, that will make you happy. And my goal as a collector now is that, you know, for me, my favorite piece of my collection, or one of my favorite pieces of my collection, is, you know, obviously the Regal Robot Rancor, but also like the Mythos Vader, the original one.
Mm-hmm.
And I will never sell it. So if I could achieve that goal of getting in terms of whatever piece I collect in the future, I want to make sure I have that same feeling as I do with that Mythos Vader, with that piece that I'm looking to pick up.
Right.
So is it going to be hard? Yes, because you may love that piece and then you get it in your collection. You're like, oh, okay, maybe it doesn't fit in my collection. You just never know, but I'm going to try. It's just because there's so many things out there and it's so hard to keep up. It is. Even with the art prints, like back then, there was only Mondo. Bottleneck Gallic came out of nowhere and has just been killing it, right?
Yeah, and it's a shame because, like, especially if you're new to art prints, we talked about it earlier, like some of them can sell out quite quickly. And also it's not like the easiest to navigate, like not to plug my own stuff, but like when I started the Hoth Off the Press show over at Rogue 16, it was really to explain a lot of the like frequently asked questions I got, where it's like, well, this one says it's a variant. What's the difference between that and the regular? And like this one says it's an artist proof. What the heck does that mean? Like what makes it different than a regular? So I think like that, and also some of the new collectors when it comes to Bottleneck, like unfortunately, like it used to be Mondo and Bottleneck. And for a long time, it was Mondo, Bottleneck, as far as popularity went, not quality. I'm not going to say that. But, and then like Funko bought out Mondo and laid off most of the creative directors and staff that had started
which is
Mondo in the first place. I will say, like, silver lining to that, those people who were laid off, most of them, I think all but one of them, started their own print company called Made by Mutant. So if you want to give them a follow to see what they're up to. So far, they did a really nice Dune print from Matt Taylor. They did a Dune vinyl soundtrack with art from Craig Ruth. Heavy hitters. Those are really good artists, like really well renowned. And also it was really cool to see because when the Funko thing happened and those folks got laid off, there was a ton of artists, like really big names, who were like, I'm never going to work with Mondo again. One of them was Jason Edmondson. I know those prints were quite popular. He does the Eyes Without a Face. So he did that series for years. And then he finally did Vader and Kenobi. He just did 2 with Bottleneck. So he's now going to be doing them with Bottleneck. But he swore, like, I'm not going to work with Mondo again. But yeah, so this is the company Made by Mutant. We'll see if they do like Star Wars stuff. There's plenty of galleries out there. It's just I tend to post the ones who do stuff I really like. So like
which is
Star Wars, Batman, some Marvel stuff here and there, right?
Yeah, I feel like Bottleneck is the one that's killing it the most. I like Acme, and there's some good prints there as well. Sideshow's been putting out some good prints as well, right? Here and there.
Sideshow has, I don't know why they're still available. I think it's the difference in like culture and collector is that when I think of art prints, Sideshow is not the first people I think of.
No,
like I maybe one or two prints from them.
Mhm.
It's more like Hot Toys statues, right?
Yeah.
But they did 2 of Chris Valentine's. He did a C-3PO and an R2. And I thought those were brilliant. And for whatever reason, they're still available. Those 2 on the right.
Yeah. Which is crazy because that's C-3PO and R2, right? 2 iconic Star Wars characters, right?
Yeah. And if they had, I'm like, if anyone's interested, jump on them now because I don't know how many they have left. But if those had released through Bottleneck, they would have disappeared in a second. Because
Yeah,
even his
is it
Andor portraits were in
yeah.
the same kind of style, and those sold very quickly.
Yeah. Well, the 2-pack is sold at least
Waitlist.
waitlist. Yeah. So, yeah, no, these are and that's one thing too. I love art prints. I've always been collecting art prints. I don't know if you
So
follow Aunt Lucia. Sorry, Sean.
I was gonna say I did pick up that Too Strong for Blasters one.
Nice. That's one of my. I don't know if you saw like in Rogue One 6 during I call it the weekend of the AT-AT driver helmet.
Mhm. Yeah.
Posted a few like AT-AT related art prints that I was familiar with, and that was one of them that's been quite popular for a few years now.
Yeah, because is that a reprint? Because didn't they come out with that before and it was a little more expensive, I guess, on either Bottleneck or Acme? I can't remember who had it.
I think it's a different size. I don't remember the exact
Okay.
size, but I think it's not like a standard size at all.
Yeah, because I want to say the one was like $3, and then I was like, it's a little expensive for an art print that might go in my portfolio. And then when that one was 95, I was like, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. And that's like I stress with people, like if they are interested in art print, like do check absolutely everywhere before you do
Yeah.
eBay. Like I almost got a Jason Edmondson, like Eyes Without a Face. He did a Cylon from Battlestar Galactica because I
Mhm.
suddenly realized I didn't have a Battlestar Galactica print, and it was on
Mhm.
eBay for $150. It was still available on Jason's website for $25.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
that's
so
the
just
kind of
shop
thing.
around.
Yep, shop around, or like I get people who ask me all the time, "Hey, I'm trying to find this. Can you find?" I remember I still feel badly about that, Sean. You were like, "Hey, if you find Matt Ferguson's Empire Strikes Back for
Yeah.
like this price or less, like let me know." And I always see like the variant or the Japanese version, and you wanted the English, and I'm like,
Yeah,
seriously?
and I think I found it on eBay for like 150.
Okay,
I
and
think so.
that's pretty
Yeah.
typical. Like I think you wanted it for like 100 or less, and I'm like, oh, that's tough.
Yeah, but I
Like a friend.
realized it was Ferguson and I had to have it, so I didn't care. I
Yeah.
was like, I'll spend the extra $50 and at least I've
Mhm.
got it. I'm dying
Yeah.
for him to do the New Hope one so we
I
can
know,
have
me
the
too.
Yeah.
trilogy.
Well,
I think
he
one I think my life will be complete once he does the New Hope one.
Yeah.
we've got what is it? 2027.
Oh,
Oh my
is
god.
that what
It's
he's
gotta be
looking at?
it's gotta be
Oh.
on the anniversary,
The
unless I'm
anniversary.
trying to think. What is it
Come
at now?
on. Come
I'm
on,
like,
Matt, throw us a bone. Throw us a bone. Make
I
it.
can't do math. Hold on, let me see. Like, how old is it now?
It's gonna be 45 years, I believe, right?
Well, no, it was 45 when I went to Anaheim in 2022.
Oh, it was 45. So
So I'm like,
50th?
what would 50? 1977 plus 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, 2027. Now he did do a New Hope one. It just wasn't the anniversary. It wasn't like the kind of composition that we got with like
Right.
Empire Strikes Back. He did it years, I forget when, but he did it before Empire Strikes Back. So it
Yeah.
wasn't like the New Hope anniversary. It just happened to be but it's like landscape. It's like horizontal, and it's of
Mhm.
Luke and Leia like swinging across
Okay.
that main. I forget what the title of that is called, but um yeah, he's well aware of like how popular that is. He's doing a signing in his hometown on May the 3rd for the Phantom Menace
Okay.
posters.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
nice.
Yeah, he sent me a picture. It's now on his Instagram, and I was like half asleep when I saw it, and I thought he was at the signing because it was
Mhm.
him sitting next to this like giant Phantom Menace poster, and I was like, "You got to steal that," because he stole one last year when he did a Return of the Jedi signing.
Yeah.
They had a quad like on foam core, and he was like, I just took it. No one said anything. I just took it, and So I was like, you gotta steal that one. And he's like, it's 6.5 feet tall. It's in my living room. Like they sent it to me. And I was like,
Oh,
oh
really?
my God. Yeah. And
That's cool.
yeah, so that kind of thing is super cool. Logan's right. Deep cut. Yeah. So I had asked him, I thought that for Return of the Jedi, I kind of thought the big bad looming in the back was going to be Palpatine. And so I was like, was there a reason why it was Vader and not Palpatine? And sometimes with these artists, they make decisions and you're like, oh, I never would have thought of that. Okay. Like Vader becoming like a larger and larger presence in like each of these posters. And like,
Yeah.
okay, so like he starts off small in New Hope, right? And then like he's the big bad and like Revenge of the Sith or Revenge of the Jedi. And so I was like, is that like, what was your thought process behind putting like Vader there instead of Palpatine? He was like, Vader looks fucking cooler.
There you go.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Well, who wants an old?
That's simple.
Who wants
There
an
you
old like burnt
yeah, like mind you, he's very
Sith
polite.
Lord in the.
He didn't say it like that, but he was just like, Vader's more badass. Like I don't
Yeah.
like versus
Yeah.
some like wrinkly old dude. Like that just made more sense. And I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
I think it's almost like how people feel about tattoos. Some people get tattoos because they have to all have meaning, and then some people get tattoos because the meaning is it freaking look cool.
If it looks cool.
Yeah, it's just badass looking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
But yeah, he I think he's probably the most excited for A New Hope. He'll certainly have the most time to like think of
Oh,
a
it's
position.
gonna be a good one.
I
Yeah.
just need it so I can complete the collection. It's like my OCDness is like, I need it. So
Yeah, it's taken a minute to get there, but
Yeah.
do I know what his plans are for the prequel posters? I don't. I will say I was pretty surprised. I had no idea he was working on Phantom Menace. We talk like not often, but we do talk, and he's got an excellent relationship with Disney, so it wouldn't surprise me at all. I don't know why they wouldn't have him do the prequels, but I think it would have to just be.
It's guaranteed he's gonna do it. I'm assuming it's every 2 years, right? So right? So
I would assume it's on every like even number anniversary. So if this
Mhm.
year's the 25th anniversary of Phantom Menace, I forget when Attack of the Clones came out. Was it 2000?
I forgot. 1999?
No, 99 was the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
No. 2003, 2002?
I want to say it was 2002.
It might have been. Yep. Okay. Thank you, Logan. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that
So
means
2000.
3 years from now, we might get Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Damn it!
Very possible.
I gotta wait again.
No.
I think it is that like OCD thing where it's like they've started this trend of doing it on anniversaries. I don't know why they would stop that. The only
Right.
time they kind of like deviated from that was, at least as far as like the same composition goes, was Rogue One. So
Yeah.
Rogue One, he did that one in 2020, which didn't make any sense for an anniversary or anything like that. It was also the only one that was limited. I think they only did
Right.
like 200.
Wonder if he just threw it out there because it was an individual movie kind of on its own. Maybe
Yeah,
he
it's
just
gonna
said,
wait.
"Hey,
Yeah, how long are we gonna wait? 5 years?
Yeah.
Oh, 5-year anniversary. No, wait, it just came out though. 10 years? Well, hopefully they don't wait till every anniversary so we could get these sooner and I could complete my collection and I could sleep peacefully at night. But with that being said, I just want to say thank you, CC. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This
quick, huh?
2 hours like went by pretty quick. I'm like, thank you. And seriously, like we really appreciate you hopping on the show. Definitely everyone's been appreciative to your insight on the art prints because like I said,
absolutely. I love it.
I love it. And a lot of people like the viewers and listeners, they do collect art prints as well. I think you might have gotten like Joe Miller. Shout out to Joe Miller. I was shocked that he posted in our group. He's mostly an anime guy, but he loves Star Wars. But he collects mostly anime. But he's been getting into Star Wars recently, and he picked up that what's that called? The Chris my gosh, Chris Valentine's Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, he got his. I'll show you. He posted in the group. So again,
Nice.
CC, that's why when I meant by a positive force, like you're helping and educating other fans and collectors in the art print world and just collecting in general. So we really appreciate it. Thank you for the updates, because I really appreciate it. So we gotta have you back on. I feel like we could still
It's
go
been a
on.
long while since we.
Yeah.
It's been a
Yeah,
while.
so we'll definitely talk backstage and we could set that up. All right, CC. Thank you again. I really appreciate it, Sean. Another one in the
Another one
books.
in the books.
Thank you guys for watching and listening. We'll have CC on back pretty soon. And again, please look out for her. Yeah.
I'll just make sure, like tonight, I hope no one was dying to talk about a hot toy that just released or a statue, like, because we didn't get to it. There's no way.
No.
Like, I'll just have to make sure that if I come on, it's on a slow news week any other time.
No, but listen, we talk
really
about that stuff like almost every week. Like, this is nice diversion from that to talk about something different that piques my interest, and just to hear your collecting habits, like to learn more about you is it was a treat tonight, and we do appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, like what Sean said, we always get like a lot of like statue collectors, hot toys collectors on the show. It's nice to have like a different take on collecting, especially in terms of art prints. So we really appreciate it, and I'm so happy that you came on the show. And yeah, guys, please check out CC in Rogue 16. Check her out on all the groups, including the Collectors Enabled. And yeah, you definitely want to make sure you're friends with her on Instagram or something, or Facebook, just because you'll get like all the updates with all the art prints that's being released. So we really
whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not, you're gonna get it. I like it because I just gotta set my timer.
It wasn't that to be meth, so just be lucky. It's
there you go.
Paper.
Yeah, it's yeah.
You're still a pusher,
or both.
Yep, wheeling and dealing over here.
That's it.
All right, guys. May the midichlorians be with you guys always and forever. We'll be back on next week, next Wednesday. Take care, everyone. Peace.
See ya.